Welcome to Starbound. My name's the Voice Ogre, and I'll be your narrator today. Nearly 500 supporters get early access to our stories, including brand new stories of Sunspire Academy, which I happen to do, and Freyrin and Rimiki. If you'd like to unlock early access and support new episodes and future series, tap Join below to become a Starbound member. Now, let's get into today's story. The bear tracks led deeper into the Montana wilderness. Tom Garrett crouched, examining the paw print in the soft earth. Big bastard, probably 400 pounds. The same one that had killed Jim's retriever last week. Tom ran his weathered hand over the 3-day stubble on his face, feeling the familiar scar that ran from his left temple to his jaw. A souvenir from Fallujah. 20 years of Delta Force operations had taught him patience. The bear would show itself eventually. His fingers brushed the grip of his old military-issue .45 in its shoulder holster. Some guys went high-tech after leaving the service. Tom preferred reliability. The heavy pistol had saved his life more times than he could count. The wind shifted, carrying the bear's scent, and something else. A strange electric hum filled the air. Like high-voltage lines, but deeper, more alien. Tom's instincts fired. He looked up. A disc-shaped craft hovered silently above the clearing, metallic surface catching the afternoon sun. Not military, at least not American. Too quiet, too advanced. "Not today," Tom growled, drawing his sidearm. 20 years of Black Ops had taught him to never hesitate. He fired repeatedly, the .45's report echoing through the forest. The rounds struck the craft's underbelly, ricocheting with metallic pings. A brilliant blue light erupted from the craft, engulfing Tom mid-shot. His last conscious thought was simple, direct clarity. They picked the wrong guy to abduct. Pain greeted Tom's return to consciousness. His head throbbed like the worst hangover of his life. Military training kicked in. Assess situation, evaluate threats, find advantage. He kept his eyes closed, regulating his breathing to appear unconscious while cataloging his surroundings. The surface beneath him was hard and smooth. The air smelled sterile with an underlying tang like copper. The ambient sound was a low hum, utterly unlike anything terrestrial. Temperature? Cool, but not cold. Gravity felt slightly heavier than normal. He performed a subtle self-check. Still dressed in his jeans, boots, and flannel shirt. They'd missed the KA bar knife in his ankle sheath. Amateurs. Or arrogant. Tom cracked his eyes open a sliver. The cell was roughly 15 feet square. Walls made of some metallic material that seemed to have a faint pulse, almost alive. No visible door. A dim ambient light came from everywhere and nowhere. He rose to his feet, careful to mask the presence of the hidden knife. The wall directly in front of him suddenly rippled like water and dissolved, revealing two massive humanoid creatures. 8 feet tall at least, with broad shoulders and barreled chests. Mottled green-brown skin with ridges. Tusks protruded from their lower jaws, and their eyes were yellow with horizontal pupils. They wore sleek armor that seemed to flow with their movements. Both carried what looked like weapons. One a staff with an energy tip, the other a short, club-like device. Tom's combat assessment was automatic. Powerful build meant strong, but probably slow. Poor center of gravity. Tusks vulnerable to sideways blow. Armor had gaps at joints, knees, elbows, neck. The aliens regarded him with what looked like amusement. One spoke in a series of guttural sounds until a device on its armor glowed and began translating.
"Human specimen. You are honored to be selected for Survivor Extreme Edition, the most watched combat broadcast in the 4 quadrants."
Tom spat on the floor between them.
"I'm nobody's specimen."
The aliens looked at each other, and their tusked mouths spread in what might have been grins.
Defiance! Excellent for ratings!
Tom's blood ran cold, but he kept his face impassive.
The transport leaves in 1 rotation. Prepare yourself.
The translator crackled. Tom had spent his career making split-second life-or-death decisions. This one was easy. With practice motion, he drew the KA bar from his ankle sheath and lunged at the nearest alien, driving the blade deep into the unprotected knee joint where the armor separated. Orange blood spurted as the alien howled in pain. Tom twisted the knife and pulled it free in one motion, already spinning to face the second guard. The alien raised its stun baton, but too slowly. Tom ducked under the swing, using the first guard as a shield. 3 more guards rushed in, weapons raised. Tom managed to slash one across the face before something struck him from behind, an energy burst that sent every nerve ending in his body screaming. As darkness claimed him again, he heard one of them say,
20 fights. This one might make 30. Unusual aggression for such a fragile-looking species.
The second awakening was marginally better than the first. Tom's head still pounded, but the fire in his nerves had subsided. He found himself in a different room, larger, better lit, with what looked like medical equipment along one wall. His wounds had been treated with some kind of advanced medicine. The cut in his arm from the bear hunt was completely healed. A hologram flickered to life in the center of the room, forming the shape of yet another alien. This one was different, smaller with a bulbous head, 4 blinking eyes set in pairs, and tentacle-like fingers. It wore what resembled an expensive suit, if suits were designed by someone who'd only ever heard of them.
Ah, you're conscious. Excellent. I'm Gorva, your handler.
The voice was nasal, but understandable. No translator needed.
You've caused quite a stir, injuring 3 Bruvian guards. Most specimens are quite docile after collection.
Tom sat up slowly, assessing the room for weapons or escape routes. Where am I? And what the hell is going on? Gorva's 4 eyes blinked in sequence.
You are aboard the Arena Station, currently in orbit around what you call Saturn. And as for what's going on, you have been selected to participate in the galaxy's most popular combat broadcast.
Not interested. Tom's voice was flat. Gorva made a sound like a laugh.
But sure you are. 100 fights, 100 increasingly difficult opponents. Survive and win freedom, plus wealth beyond imagination. The fame alone.
Cut the sales pitch, Tom interrupted. What happens if I refuse to fight? Gorva's tentacle fingers twitched.
Then we select another human. Perhaps from that Montana settlement you value. We already mapped it.
The threat was clear.
Besides, no intelligent being has ever turned down this opportunity.
Tom's jaw clenched. What weapons do I get?
Now we're communicating.
Gorva waved the tentacle, and a wall dissolved to reveal a view screen.
This is the battleground.
The screen showed not a simple arena, but a massive environment with varying terrains. Dense forest similar to Montana wilderness. A desert wasteland, crumbling urban ruins, and a murky swamp area.
The battleground changes, adapts. Each fight offers different challenges.
Gorva explained.
You will begin with basic protection for visual appeal, but if you want better equipment, you must earn audience favor.
How many humans have done this before me? Tom asked. Gorva's mouth twisted in what might have been a grimace.
You're the first. Your species assessment suggested you provide 3 to 4 fights of moderate entertainment value. It's barely worth the collection effort.
Tom said nothing, but his eyes hardened. His mind flashed back to Afghanistan, 2009. Surrounded, outnumbered, the rest of his squad dead. He'd killed 17 Taliban fighters before the extraction arrived. They'd given him a medal for that one, then sent him back out 2 weeks later. "When do we start?" he asked. First fight preparation was minimal. Tom was given light body armor for visual appeal, but allowed to keep his Ka bar knife. As guards escorted him toward the arena entrance, he focused his mind the way he had before countless missions. Cold, clear, tactical. The entry tunnel opened onto the forest section of the battleground. It was a convincing replica of Earth woodland, though something about the light felt wrong. Dozens of floating camera drones hovered at various distances. A booming voice echoed across the arena. "From an unknown death gravity world, our first human specimen, facing the hunter-killer Ragnarok!" A gate opened on the opposite side of the clearing. A reptilian alien with powerful hind legs and clawed hands emerged. Its scaled hide a mottled brown. It stood 7 feet tall, with a whip-like tail and jaws that could probably crush bone. It scanned the area, nostrils flaring as it caught Tom's scent. Most opponents would try to back away, try to circle around. Basic instinct. Tom charged directly at the creature. The alien hesitated for a crucial half-second, surprised by the frontal assault. Then it slashed forward with its razor claws. Tom ducked under the attack, momentum carrying him inside the creature's reach. His Ka bar drove upward under the alien's jaw, into its soft tissue beneath. The creature thrashed wildly, its tail whipping around to catch Tom in the ribs. He felt something crack, but he maintained his grip on the knife, twisting deeper, seeking the brainstem. The alien's movements became spastic, then ceased altogether. Tom pulled his knife free, wiped it on the dead alien's hide, turned towards the nearest camera. Blood, his own and the alien's, streaked his face. "Send the next one," he growled. The fight had lasted exactly 22 seconds. In the broadcast control room, Director Krebs stared at the main screen in shock. The skeletal gray frame trembled slightly, 3-fingered hands clutching the edge of his console. "That was supposed to last at least 5 minutes!" he hissed at this production team. "The Ragnarok was a juvenile champion on 3 worlds!" On the auxiliary screens, the comment feed was exploding. "What kind of savage is this? Did you see the direct attack? No fear. 50 credits says his human's dead in round 2. The red fluid leak from it is disgusting. I would let him stab me any day. What's a death gravity world? Is that why it's so aggressive?" Krebs turned to his assistant. "Bring the Trelg now. Skip the Horlak. We need to re-establish the natural order." Tom dispatched his second opponent, the hulking creature with 4 arms and limited intelligence. By luring it into charging a tree, then hamstringing it with his knife when it was momentarily stunned. The third was some kind of energy being contained in a mechanical suit. Tom disabled it by damaging the suit's control systems. By the 5th fight, he'd acquired a serrated alien blade, a crude mace, and a shield fashioned from armor plating. His ribs screamed with every movement, and a gash on his thigh leaked blood, but he remained focused, methodical. After defeating a creature that seemed made of living stone by finding a crystalline node that powered it and smashing it with his mace, Tom looked directly into the nearest camera and mouthed, "Is that all you got?" In the preparation room afterward, Gorva's hologram appeared, all eyes blinking rapidly in what Tom had come to recognize as excitement. "Remarkable! Simply remarkable.
You become quite the sensation.
The alien gestured, and a view screen appeared showing scrolling alien text and images.
Our viewership has quintupled. Some gambling houses are already experiencing difficulties with their payout systems.
Fascinating, Tom said flatly. Got any medical supplies? My ribs are busted.
Better than that.
Gorva's tentacles wiggled.
You've earned your first reward based on viewer popularity.
A panel opened in the wall, revealing proper combat boots, high-quality body armor similar to what Tom had worn on missions, and what looked like advanced medical devices.
The medical unit will repair your injuries,
Gorva explained.
The armor is top-grade military issue, from a species considerably more advanced than yours, of course.
As the medical unit worked, a strange tingling sensation that knit bone and sealed wounds. Gorva continued.
You should see the comment feeds. Many viewers are placing substantial wagers on your performance. Most still expect you to die, of course, but odds have shifted dramatically, yes.
Tom tested his newly healed ribs. How many fights did you say the average competitor lasts? Gorva's tentacles fluttered dismissively.
Most species average 8 to 10 before elimination.
Tom donned the new armor, testing its flexibility. Are any humans watching this? Gorva's eyes blinked in sequence.
How would humans access our broadcast? Your species has barely functional orbital capability.
Tom smiled for the first time since his abduction. It wasn't a pleasant smile. Never underestimate human ingenuity, he said. Fights 6 through 10 proved increasingly challenging. The body armor saved Tom's life twice, absorbing energy blasts that would have vaporized him otherwise. He fell into a rhythm. Improvise against unknown tactics, adapt to brutal odds, overcome or die trying. Fight 8 featured a massive brute with stone-like skin impervious to bladed weapons. Tom recognized it was too powerful to confront directly, so he lured it into the swamp area where its weight became a disadvantage. When it became mired in the mud, he used vines as an improvised garrote. When that failed to penetrate the thick hide, he drove a sharpened stick through its eye and into its brain. Tom was becoming familiar with the broadcast elements too. 2 commentators had begun narrating the fights, one with an excited, high-pitched voice who seemed impressed by Tom's performance, the other gruff and dismissive, constantly predicting his imminent death. After defeating his 10th opponent, a floating creature that attacked with toxic gas, Tom was returned to the preparation room. As the medical unit treated his injuries, Gorva appeared, looking conflicted.
You continue to surprise, human. You have surpassed all projections. The ratings are unprecedented for early rounds.
I'm glad to hear it, Tom said dryly. It's my next reward. A gun would be nice. Gorva's tentacles twisted nervously.
About that, the producers have decided to adjust the difficulty curve. The next opponents were originally scheduled for much later rounds.
They're trying to kill me, Tom said flatly.
Not kill. Simply accelerate the entertainment value.
Gorva's eyes wouldn't meet Tom's.
The gambling syndicates are concerned about potential payout liabilities.
Tom checked the edge on his captured blade. We'll tell the producers they're going to need tougher opponents. In rural Montana, where Tom had been a regular at a bar, the atmosphere was electric. Dozens of people crowded around the ancient television that somehow, inexplicably, was showing their missing friend fighting alien creatures. "There's Tommy Garrett!" shouted Bill Jensen, pounding his fist on the bar. The Vietnam vet's eyes were wide with amazement.
Served with his dad in Desert Storm. I knew Tommy since he was knee-high. Toughest son of a bitch I ever met.
The footage was grainy, the alien commentary largely unintelligible, but everyone could see it was Tom. News vans had begun arriving outside, and phones throughout the bar captured video to share online. On screen, Tom was systematically dismantling some kind of tentacled horror, using its own appendages to strangle it.
That's the move that he used in the state wrestling championship in '98,
someone shouted. As Tom delivered the killing blow, the entire bar erupted in cheers. Bill Jensen raised his spear.
They picked the wrong damn humans to mess with.
Fights 11 through 15 pushed Tom to his limits. The opponents now possessed technological advantages: energy shields, cloaking devices, ranged weapons that could melt through his armor. One nearly killed him with a sonic attack that ruptured blood vessels in the eyes and ears. Tom adapted. When facing the cloaked alien assassin, he scattered dirt on the ground to reveal footprints, then laid a brutal trap with improvised spikes. Against the sonic attacker, he packed his ears with mud and fought by sight alone. After the 15th fight, he could barely stand. Blood leaked from his nose and ears. 3 fingers on his left hand were broken, but as the hovering cameras circled for close-ups, he raised a bloody fist to the nearest one. In the control room, Director Kreb was physically cornered by the representatives of 3 major gambling syndicates.
This is your fault,
hissed a reptilian enforcer, sharp teeth inches from Krebs' face.
Our house stands to lose billions if this continues. The betting markets are in chaos,
added another, this one insectoid in appearance.
Major syndicates demand intervention.
Krebs' fingers fluttered nervously.
We're already accelerating the difficulty. What more can we do?
The third enforcer, a massive blob-like creature, burbled ominously.
Fix this, or we fix you.
On the auxiliary screens, the comment feed had become a war zone.
My entire life savings and the human reaching 30. The producers are helping him. This must be rigged. Did you see how he kept fighting with the severed tendon? I need a reproductive suppressor shot just watching him. Human superiority! Human superiority!
Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the broadcast was generating unprecedented viewer engagement. In bars, communal viewing centers, and private homes, beings of all species were riveted by the humans' performance. On the space station and the Regal system, a bar erupted into violence when a group of aliens with crude, Tom Garrett fan club signs were attacked by traditionalists who considered human worship blasphemy. Security forces were quickly overwhelmed as the brawl spread throughout the commercial sector. Similar scenes played out across dozens of worlds as the phenomenon grew. After his 20th fight, a brutal encounter with what appeared to be a genetically engineered killing machine, Tom confronted Gorva in the medical bay.
You're trying to kill me,
he stated, voice raw from exertion.
Those last 3 fights weren't regular fighters. They were assassins.
Gorva's hologram flickered nervously.
The producers are concerned? The arts makers had humans rated as primitive, soft creatures. The gambling syndicates set the odds at 10,000 to 1 against reaching this point.
So kill me and be done with it,
Tom said.
It's not that simple anymore,
Gorva replied, tentacles twisting.
The ratings are unprecedented, and your species, well, they somehow have tracked and hacked our transmission. Your entire planet is watching now.
Tom smiled through split lips.
I told you.
You never underestimate humans.
You don't understand what's happening,
Gorva insisted.
You have become a galactic phenomenon. There are viewers who haven't missed a minute of your fights. Gambling fortunes are being won and lost. Belief systems are being questioned.
It's not my problem, Tom said, checking his weapons.
The producers are planning something for your next fight. They're planning something extreme.
Gorva's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. Tom's eyes hardened. Bring it on. The broadcast had indeed reached Earth. First picked up by amateur radio enthusiasts, then amplified and distributed through increasingly official channels. What began as a viral curiosity became a global phenomenon within days. By the time Tom reached his 25th night, the entire planet was watching. Military recruitment offices reported lines around the block. Nations normally at odds found common cause in support of humanity's champion. In the Oval Office, the President of the United States was being briefed by the Joint Chiefs. Sir, we've confirmed this is not a hoax or a psyop, the Air Force General explained. Garrett is fighting for his life and humanity's reputation in some sort of intergalactic gladiatorial contest. Options? The President asked. Limited, sir. We're broadcasting responses into deep space, but we have no way to reach him directly. NASA and Space Force are analyzing the transmission source. The President watched the screen as Tom, despite obvious injuries, methodically took apart a creature twice his size. He's showing them who we are, the President said quietly. God help them if they make an enemy of us. Tom began his 26th fight by looking directly into the primary camera. Blood crusted one eye, and fresh scars crossed his face. But his gaze was unwavering. To any humans watching, they took me from Montana. They're betting against us. Don't let them win. It became a rallying cry across Earth. Tom Garrett's merchandise appeared overnight. Military training programs were hastily revised to incorporate Garrett tactics. Geopolitical tensions eased as humanity united against a common external threat. Meanwhile, the fights grew increasingly desperate. By round 30, Tom was facing genetically modified warriors, combat robots, and creatures designed specifically for killing. He was given advanced weapons as a raiding stunt, but discarded most of them in favor of his trusty KA bar knife when captured alien weapons he'd learned to use effectively. During the 30th fight, in a move that will be analyzed by military strategists for years, Tom deliberately damaged the arena's environmental controls, causing a localized systems failure that gave him the edge against a technologically superior opponent. In the confusion, he managed to ambush the camera drone, smashing it and secretly pocketing crucial components. The broadcast had become the highest-rated program in galactic history. The commentators, identified as Fell and Morbo, had become celebrities themselves. The human's resourcefulness defies all species mapping, Fell exclaimed as Tom used a piece of his own broken armor to reflect an energy blast back at its source. He creates weapons from the arena itself. Morbo, once dismissive, had grown less confident in the predictions of Tom's demise. But can Garrett survive the gene-modified hunters that come next? I am no longer certain of the predictions of this outcome. The comment feeds had reached manic levels. I've abandoned my family to follow the Garrett path. My entire clan has painted our bodies pink to honor the human skin. 3 major gambling houses on Rigel 7 have collapsed, military enforcing order. I desire to breed this human. I will die for Garrett if necessary. Across multiple alien worlds, news reports showed riots breaking out. Pro-human demonstrations turned violent. Species that had bet heavily on Tom's defeat faced financial ruin, while those who had supported him from the beginning enjoyed unexpected wealth. Political alliances shifted based on human policy. After his 50th fight, marking the halfway point of the competition and a milestone no previous competitor has reached, Tom was given a special reward. He could request one item from his home planet. The producers expected him to ask for an advanced weapon. Instead, he requested a simple, military-issue Ka-bar combat knife, identical to the one he'd been carrying when abducted. Gorva was bewildered.
You could ask for anything! A plasma rifle, an energy shield, a tactical nuclear device?
Tom held the knife, running his thumb along the worn inscription on the handle. Come and take it. This is what I need. The simple request further inflamed the mythos among viewers. Weapon manufacturers across 3 systems began producing Garrett model knives, despite having no idea of the tool's original purpose. Meanwhile, Director Kreb was summoned by Mogul Dral, the massive slug-like alien who owned the network. Dral's bloated body oozed with rage as he addressed the terrified director.
This was supposed to be simple entertainment. Now it's causing interstellar incidents.
Dral's translator rendered his gurgling speech.
Half of my client species are demanding a human technology import license.
We never anticipated this level of resistance, Kreb stammered.
The species assessment classified humans as mid-tier primates with middling combat effectiveness.
Fix this,
Dral demanded.
Break him or end him. I don't care which.
Fights 51 through 70 saw Tom facing genetically engineered combat specialists. Some had multiple limbs, others toxic secretions or energy manipulation abilities. One could control gravity in a localized field. Another could generate extreme heat and cold. The battles were brutal, pushing Tom beyond normal human endurance. But he fought smarter now, instantly identifying weak points and exploiting them. Years of special operations training combined with the hard lessons of the arena had forged him into something beyond human. A perfect combat machine. The comment feed had completely lost any semblance of rationality.
I sold my reproductive rights to bet on Fight 62.
My species has abandoned our traditional combat doctrine. We now teach Garrett method. I've had surgery to look more human. The pain is worth it.
My offspring will be named Tom.
This human must be a god disguised as a mortal. After the 75th fight, Tom was severely injured. A spike-covered opponent had penetrated his armor in several places, causing significant internal bleeding. In the medicinal bay, Gorva appeared more agitated than ever.
You've changed everything,
The alien said.
The Galactic Council is in emergency sessions. There are human worship cults forming with millions of followers. There are also death threats against you, numbering in the millions.
Tom lay on the medical table as the unit repaired his damaged tissues. His face was a roadmap of scars, but his eyes burned with the same determination they had on day 1.
Just get me to the end.
The final opponents.
Gorva hesitated.
They are beyond anything that you have ever faced. Champions augmented in illegal tech, genetic modifications forbidden in civilized space. They have never been used in the arena before.
Tom smiled grimly.
Good. The audience deserves a proper finish.
On Earth, humanity had united as never before. Military leaders studied every fight for tactical insights. Religious leaders incorporated Garrett's struggle into their teachings, finding parallels to ancient trials of faith. Children played Garrett versus aliens in schoolyards worldwide. NASA, Roscosmos, ISRO, ESA, and various space agencies worked around the clock to trace the broadcast source, while diplomatic channels prepared for the potential first contact. Defense budgets swelled as governments recognized the new reality. Earth was not alone, and at least some of their galactic neighbors were hostile. Tom's image appeared on everything from t-shirts to military recruitment posters. His simple phrase, "They're betting against us," became a global mantra, symbolizing humanity's determination to overcome any challenge. Fights 90 through 95 pushed Tom beyond what should have been possible for any creature to endure. In Fight 92, he used the components stolen from the camera drone to short-circuit an opponent's energy shield. In Fight 93, he was nearly killed by a massive predator alien, but discovered a nerve cluster that no one knew existed. The arena itself bore witness to Tom's journey. Once a pristine, controlled environment, it was now a scarred battlefield. Environmental controls malfunctioned, terrain features lay damaged, and weapons and blood from fallen opponents littered the ground. In the broadcast control room, complete chaos reigned. Director Krepp drank heavily as gambling syndicate enforcers stood menacingly nearby. "We're dead if he wins. Dead if we kill him artificially," Krepp muttered, watching the screens where the Garrett effect was destabilizing entire economies. The comment feed had become so chaotic that it was causing GalNet outages across entire solar systems.
I have a list of names and a shovel. Bet against him and you're getting buried next to last week's losers. Every time he limps back into the ring, I ovulate with the force of a supernova. My walls aren't just gone, they're vaporized.
Before the 100th and final fight, Gorva visited Tom in person for the first time. A skinny, trembling alien whose hologram had not done justice to his nervousness.
The final opponent is Krug the Annihilator, undefeated arena champion for 30 cycles,
Gorva explained.
But there is something you should know. The producers have rigged the arena with hidden weapons and traps designed to ensure your death regardless of the fight's outcome.
Tom, covered in scars, his body a testament to the 99 battles already fought, nodded slowly. "I figured they would." He began methodically preparing, checking his weapons, stretching his injured body. "Any messages from Earth?" he asked. Gorva hesitated.
Your planet's transmissions have been troubling to many. Your military leaders have threatened consequences if you are not returned safely.
Tom laughed, a cold, hard sound. "They have no idea where I am or how to reach me."
Nevertheless, it has the Council concerned. Humans were not expected to detect the broadcast, let alone respond to it.
Gorva wrung his tentacle hands.
There is talk of classifying Earth as a restricted world due to unexpected technological advancement and aggression potential.
"Smart move," Tom agreed, sliding his knife into its sheath. "We're just getting started." The final fight transmissions ripped across the galaxy like a shockwave, overloading servers, crashing entire planetary networks. On Earth, silence reigned. Every screen, every device tuned in. Billions held their breath, united not by nations, but by species, watching their unlikely champion face the abyss. Across countless alien worlds, the bars fell silent. The marketplaces emptied. The Garrett question wasn't just a debate anymore. It was the precipice upon which galactic order teetered. Was this human a force for change, or a harbinger of terrifying primal chaos? Tom Garrett, a roadmap of scars etched onto weary muscle, stepped onto the sacred, desecrated floor of the battleground. Opposite him, Krug the Annihilator made his entrance, and reality itself seemed to buckle under his presence. 9 feet of brutally augmented predator. Krug wasn't just muscle and aggression. He was a walking atrocity exhibition. Illegal gene splicing pulsed beneath leathery hide stretched taut over crackling cybernetics. Exposed power conduits spat arcs of electricity. Hydraulic pistons hissed with each thunderous step that cracked the ferrocrate beneath them. One arm ended in a rotating plasma cannon, already whirring as it charged. The other in a set of vibroclaws, shimmering with molecular disruption fields. His eyes weren't eyes. They were multi-spectrum tactical lenses, burning with a cold crimson light. His roar wasn't just sound. It was a physical force, a concussion wave that rattled Tom's teeth and sent camera drones tumbling from the sky like swatted flies. The commentators were beyond hysteria. They were conduits for the galaxy's collective breakdown.
By the voids, Blackheart, look at it!
Fell shrieked, his voice distorting into pure static.
They didn't augment him! They replaced him! He is more machine than monster! Garrett is facing a demigod of slaughter! My ocular fluids are boiling!
He can't win! He can't possibly win!
Morbo sobbed openly, the sound wet and desperate across the broadcast.
This is an execution! Forgive us, Garrett. Forgive us for watching. He's not made of flesh. He is forged from the screams of defeated stars!
Krug didn't wait. He unleashed hell. The plasma cannon erupted, spewing incandescent bolts that turned sections of the arena floor into molten glass seas. Where Tom stood a nanosecond before, slag bubbled and hissed. The vibro claws lashed out, shearing through reinforced concrete pillars like paper, sending 100-ton chunks raining down. Krug activated localized gravity emitters. One moment, Tom was dodging. The next, the floor beneath him became a crushing weight threatening to pulverize his bones. Then reversed, flinging him violently towards the ceiling amidst a storm of debris. Shockwaves from Krug's stomps propagated through the ground, throwing Tom off balance. Tom took unimaginable punishment. The plasma splashed, melting sections of his scavenged armor, searing flesh beneath until the air filled with the stench of his own cooking meat. A glancing blow from the claws ripped through his thigh guard, exposing muscle and grating against bone. He was thrown through the walls, slammed into collapsing structures. His vision swam red, blood pouring from his nose, ears, and a dozen fresh wounds. One arm hung limp, shattered at the elbow. Ribs screamed with splintered agony at every ragged breath. But he did not stop. 20 years of Delta, 99 fights in this alien hellhole. Pain was just data. He moved like a phantom through the maelstrom, a bloody ghost against the backdrop of total annihilation. To the panicked casual viewer, it was pure, desperate flight. Krug, roaring in augmented fury, saw only prey cornering itself. But the fanatics, the gamblers, the military analysts across 1,000 worlds who had dissected every frame of Garrett's battles, they saw it. The calculated retreats through the burning forest remnants, using smoke and fire as fleeting cover. The feigned stumbles in the toxic sludge of the corrupted swamp zone, drawing Krug into unstable ground. The desperate scrambles through the skeletal high-rises of the urban sector, always positioning Krug near critical, damaged infrastructure nodes. Each agonizing movement, each drop of blood spilled, was buying fractions of seconds, luring the overconfident behemoth exactly where Tom needed him. Running was the last thing he was doing. He was setting the board. Cornered, trapped against the flickering, sparking remnants of the central power conduit for the entire urban sector. Krug raised his plasma cannon for the kill shot, the crimson eyes burning with triumphal hate. It looked like the end. Now. With his one good hand, bleeding fingers fumbled with the salvaged, jury-rigged components ripped from that camera drone weeks ago. Tom slammed the device against the conduit's exposed terminal. Anarchy erupted. Not just a flicker, but a catastrophic, cascading system failure. Lights exploded in showers of sparks. Gravity plates went haywire, alternatively pinning debris to the floor, then flinging them skyward. Emergency klaxons blared discordant, overlapping dirges. Holographic advertisements glitched, flashing terrifying alien viscera and static across the ruined landscape. Automated fire suppression systems dumped corrosive foam and freezing nitrogen gas indiscriminately. Sectors of the arena ceiling groaned and began to collapse. Most importantly, Krug the Annihilator stuttered. His plasma cannon died with a pathetic whine. Sparks erupted from his joints. The crimson light in his eyes flickered, dimmed, and were replaced by confused, primal rage of the organic creature trapped within the failing machine. His movements became jerky, uncoordinated, the immense power briefly untethered from its cybernetic control. He roared, swatting blindly at the chaos engulfing him. That was the microsecond Tom needed, ignoring the fire licking at his shredded pants, ignoring the grinding agony in his bones, fueled by nothing but pure, distilled, human spite. And the screams of 99 fallen foes. He launched himself forward. Not with energy weapons, not with scavenged tech. With the KA bar. He drove upward, under the momentarily slackened vibroclaw arm, aiming for the nexus of organic flesh and sparking cybernetics he pinpointed during a desperate evasion earlier. The worn steel bit deep. It scraped against augmented bone, then sank into softer tissue with a sickening, wet rip. Krug bellowed, a sound of pure agony and disbelief, swatting wildly. Tom twisted the blade with his remaining strength, feeling vertebrae crack, severing power lines and organic conduits alike. Alien ichor, thick and smelling of copper and burnt wiring, sprayed across him. He ripped the knife free and stabbed again, into the base of the skull, burying the blade to the hilt. Krug the Annihilator shuddered violently. His remaining systems sparked and died. The immense frame crashed to the ruined floor with the sound of collapsing buildings, shaking the entire arena one last time. Silence fell, broken only by the crackle of fires, the drip of fluids, and Tom Garrett's ragged, painful breathing. He stood over the colossal corpse, drenched in his own blood and the alien's gore, swaying on his feet. His body was a wreck, held together by sheer will. We found the nearest functioning camera drum, its lens miraculously intact amidst the devastation. He locked eyes with the unblinking lens, a silent promise to Earth, and a final insult to his captors. Through split lips, tasting blood and victory, he rasped the words that echoed across a stunned galaxy. Game over. The arena was silent for a moment, then erupted into chaos. Across the galaxy, the reaction was cataclysmic. Alien bars either celebrated wildly or erupted into species against species brawls. Humans worldwide exploded in delirious celebration. Religious ceremonies devoted to the Garrett Way spread across dozens of worlds. Gambling houses shuddered as they went bankrupt. The comment feed crashed entirely, overwhelmed by traffic. Humanity cannot be defeated. I'm abandoning my species to live among humans. This changes everything we thought we knew about combat evolution. My entire bloodline pledges fealty to Garrett. Tom, barely able to stand, was approached by Gorva and heavily armed guards. The alien's tentacles twitched nervously as he explained.
The network, the gambling syndicates, they can't let you leave. You know too much. You've cost too many powerful entities too much money and prestige.
Tom, blood dripping from multiple wounds, fixed Gorva with a steel gaze. That wasn't the deal. His hand moved toward a concealed weapon, but before violence could erupt, every screen in the facility suddenly changed. The broadcast signal had been hijacked. Images of Earth's military leaders, NASA officials, and the U.S. president. The president spoke directly. To whoever is holding our citizen, we are now aware of your existence and actions. Return Tom Garrett immediately or face the consequences. We tracked your transmission. We know who you are. And now you know what just one of us can do. The guards looked uncertainly at each other. The threat was clear, and after watching Tom Garrett for 100 fights, no one doubted what humans might be capable of if provoked. 3 weeks later, a spacecraft descended in Washington, D.C. Tom Garrett emerged to a hero's welcome unlike anything in human history. Despite advanced alien medical treatment, he bore numerous scars and he walked with a slight limp. Badges of honor that only enhanced his legend. News reports revealed the Garrett crisis had nearly triggered an interstellar war. Some alien factions demanded Earth be immediately accepted into galactic society due to proven combat prowess. Others called for humanity's immediate containment as a dangerous species. Human governments leveraged the situation masterfully, negotiating from unexpected strength. At a global press conference, Tom finally spoke publicly. They didn't just underestimate me. They underestimated all of us. When I knew that Earth was watching, I couldn't lose. No American soldier could. The response was deafening applause. In the aftermath, Director Krebs found himself demoted to producing cooking shows for a minor network. Mogul Dral's financial empire collapsed under the weight of bad gambling debts and investor flight. Gorva wrote a best-selling memoir, The Human I Knew, My Time with Garrett. Montana's rugged beauty remained unchanged despite the cosmic drama that had unfolded. Tom Garrett sat on the porch of his rebuilt cabin, cleaning his Ka bar knife, the same one that had helped him survive 100 impossible battles. 6 months had passed since his return. The world had changed irrevocably. Humanity now knew that they were not alone, and moreover that they were respected, even feared, among the stars. Preliminary diplomatic channels had been established. Technology exchanges were being cautiously negotiated. Earth's militaries underwent rapid modernization based on what Tom had seen and experienced. As twilight descended over the mountains, Tom noticed unusual lights in the sky. Not stars or satellites, but the distinctive patterns of spacecraft. He wasn't surprised. The tourist ships had been coming for weeks now. Tom looked up at the ships, took a swig of whiskey, and chuckled. Round 101 coming up, huh? He sheathed his knife and walked inside, ready for whatever came next. Earth's position in the cosmic hierarchy had been dramatically rewritten by one man who simply refused to quit. The aliens had bet against humanity and lost everything. The raiding game was over. Humanity had won.